Hey friends, it's Dennis at 3D Mini Magic. I'm here to tell you about the grand reopening, as it were, of the Etsy shop 3D Mini Magic. After a long while of trying to retool and examine financial models and so forth, I've decided to reopen. Of course, we're getting into the holiday season, so that's a tough season to pass up if you're in kind of the retail online sales biz. Uh, my model going forward, printer wise, I'm going to mostly use my HeyGears RS Turbo printer using the PAS 10 resin. It's their cheapest resin. I believe it's their cheapest resin. It's kind of a general purpose resin. I'm using a color that they call pale purple. I guess it is. It's so pale it kind of shades into to a bit of gray. At least to me, it looks sort of gray, which is a good neutral color for miniature for people to paint. Uh, Again, the so far I am sold on the HeyGears MO, the world of HeyGears, the ecosystem of HeyGears. I've been printing a lot with it, both with the PAS 10, PAS 10, and the PAP 10, which is another kind of general use resin. It's a little more expensive. Um, But if I'm going to be printing a lot, which I hope to, because I hope to get a lot of orders, I thought I would go with the cheaper PAS 10. There's I believe it's a 100 micron resolution, which is it's the smallest resolution to be honest, but that means it prints much faster. Also, but even then, I mean, you're talking fractions of millimeters. Um, that's still a lot of detail. And I think the detail looks great at that resolution. So I should be able to get things out very quickly, even though the PAS 10, which by the way is about, at least yesterday, it was $32.99 for for a kilogram, 1,000 kilograms. I guess it's 1 kilogram um, of resin. The thing is, again, I don't get failed prints. When I let their software do the repairs, the layout, the supports, and then let the machine do its thing, things come out great. So I'm kind of sold on the HeyGear promise. Certainly, I've had a lot fewer problems than I ever did with, excuse me, than I ever did with the my other printers. Right now, I have my anycubic Photon Mono M7 Pro is also running. Um, I printed some things with it. It works okay, but again, those ones they're finicky, and the even though the resin is about half the price, uh, for I get like 2 kilograms for $32.99. I usually use the Elegoo low odor plant based resin, um, and that's about $32.99 for 2 kilograms. So it's half the price. But so many of these things fail that I spend a lot more money. Um, so right now I'll have the anycubic as a backup, or in case when I get a lot of orders, um, and I'll use the HeyGears as the main printer. So a few other things I'm going to be working on, uh, besides all the awesome miniatures. Um, uh, let me. I'm designing just a few other items. What I'm going to take this out. I did this a while ago just for my own use, which is just it's just a little box, as you can see, um, and it's there when I would go to other people. I'm a gamer myself. I play D&D, a lot of other games, um, and I love the miniatures. I've got a lot of my own to travel around with them, especially little like this guy. This is a little hard. I painted him in black um, primer, but if you can kind of see, I guess that kind of works against me. Like he's supposed to be a barbarian character, right? And he's holding this big, he's holding a small axe above his head. Little pieces like this that are sticking out. In this case, it's sticking up. These break off all the time. So I've built, I made I use ZBrush and Blender for different things. I just figured, you know what, and I've got a printer, so why don't I just make a little box to hold them in? And as you can see, this, I would just use tape to hold this on, and all I want to do is hold a miniature. So, and I put little holes in there, so basically so I can make sure I can see what miniature I've put in there. I might try to make this a little more sophisticated. Might try to make the lid a little more secure. I don't know, honestly, to make like a hinge or something is probably not in my skill set yet. But I might start selling these, for a very cheap price, just because, just to have this little box, this little holder, I'm thinking might be very convenient. You also, if you go to the Etsy shop, which again is open right now, I have fewer offerings, and that's because my main supplier, STL Flex, which is a company in Brazil, they've changed their pricing structure. I had to cancel my subscription because I was trying to save, every penny I could. When I have the shop closed, there was no point in paying a monthly subscription fee. And it used to be for $29 a month, you had access to like thousands of their STL files. Well, they've changed that so that on the commercial side, the $29 price is still there, but it gives you, I think, about 80 models total. And beyond that was like 178 a month, and I'm not really in a position to pay 178 a month. And also, they have a lot of models that I don't sell. They also sell filament items. I don't have a filament printer yet. So I looked at my listings, and basically I got rid of all the listings I had that had never sold. So I got, I was able to get down to below 80. So there's fewer listings, but the listings that are there are all the ones that people have consistently liked and they bought. Again, they come in two scales. Most things come in two scales: a 32 millimeter scale or 75 millimeter scale. Scale means if a average person, which is usually defined as like a 5'8" person, was 32 millimeters tall, then dragons and monsters that would be bigger than that are slightly bigger than the 32 millimeter, and 75 millimeter is slightly bigger. For example, this guy is a 75 millimeter scale, meaning, and I don't know, although again, is this, he's this ancient Egyptian jackal warrior figure who's really awesome, and I've painted him kind of black and gold, which I think, and I'm not finished painting, but it's a great figure. Is he taller than a person or the same size as a person? So people get confused, and fortunately, I don't necessarily have an exact answer for them when they're like, oh, well, will this work will this work with my campaign? And it kind of depends. And all these, different artists make these items, and they decide for themselves what scale it is or what scale means for their figure. Okay, I think that's all I wanted to say. Please, if you're in the market for some awesome, cool minis in the November, December timeframe, and maybe, if business goes well, obviously I would keep the shop open. We'll see how it goes into January. Obviously, I want to keep the shop open all the time. I also have some other things that are related to Etsy that some other I think will be interesting projects to talk about. I'm just still thinking about them, planning them, so I'll probably have an announcement for it later. Okay, so thank you so much. Certainly, if you've watched at this point, I'm very grateful, and I'm hoping you are having a great day.